Here we are, Soul Session episode 3 with my guest, Sally Ferreira. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Waiting for my guest. Hello, Soraya. Hello, Jojo. Thank you for joining. Got my wine ready because we're about to get into this. Thank you. Yay! She has arrived. Everybody's arriving. I'm waving at people. Hi, welcome, welcome. What's up, Caroline? Diana? Just waiting for her to join in.
Hey! What's going on? Yo. What's happening?
Yo, you're looking beautiful.
Thank you. I was like, you know what? It's cold outside. I was like, I want to look cute for this live. So, I have to bring in the
thing is not outside.
No, we're inside. It's warm in here. Let me just adjust this real quick. Okay.
Yeah, you can see all these beautiful people hopping on in here.
Yeah.
Can you see them?
Mm-hmm. This is my first time actually doing live on Instagram, by the way. Like, I'm first this way.
Really?
Interview, yeah.
Hey, well, welcome. Cheers to that.
Cheers.
Thank you.
Gotta look at my eyes, though.
Thank you for agreeing to come on here.
Oh,
I'm so happy to see you. It's been so long. I've spoken to you, but I haven't seen you.
Exactly. It's been... It's a journey. It's a beautiful one.
A beautiful journey. Let's talk about your journey.
Let's talk about the journey. Should we talk about how we met?
We could talk about how we met, and then we can get into more of your story. We did meet at a video music shoot for my good friend JR.
How many years was that?
I believe that was in 2016, so that's 5 years ago.
Yes. Wow. 5 años. Okay. So, you know how it is. You're on set, makeup, hair, everyone's doing. And then out of nowhere, I see you. And I'm like, I know her. But it was like, and I've expressed this to you before. It was just kind of like, it was a connection, like immediately. It was like the eye contact. It was like we were telepathically communicating. And I was like, that's my sister. Like, and it was just like, after that, like, we spoke, kept in touch.
I know. We never, like, not been in touch since that time, which is
exactly
insane to me. And I haven't even seen you in person since that day.
Yes, it's crazy. But what was it? Before the year came in, we actually like connected even more. And I feel like it was on a spiritual level. Like we were like finishing each other's sentences. Like, yeah, girl, I'm going through that. Yeah, girl, I'm going through that. Like, so, I mean, I'm so grateful. Thank you for having me again. Like, I'm like, you're gonna pop my cherry. You pop my cherry.
Let me tell you, I've been known to pop a few cherries, bringing people on live.
You know what I'm saying? We're gonna drink to that. I'm joking.
You're not the first. Cheers, for real. Like,
yeah, cheers, for sure.
You're not. I don't know what it is, but I'm grateful for people to agree to come on here. My mentality has grown. My vision has grown. Last year when I started doing these lives, I was like, you know, you think about people that you want to sit down with, but then you're like, you know, you think about, well, who's going to want to talk to me? I don't have that many followers. You know, you think it has a lot to do with numbers, but it really doesn't. There's people that are like, I don't care about that. I'm going to sit and we're going to have a conversation. So it's the life is a huge lesson in itself.
Absolutely.
And it is about connection. And when you speak about that, the day that we met, like I knew immediately, I was like, there's something about this girl. I don't know what it is. And Margaret, who was my daughter's friend that was actually at the shoot, she's in the video too that you guys did.
Yes.
She said it now recently. She was like, I remember that day you guys were talking about like spiritual stuff, and I was like, what's going on here?
You
Yep.
know, it's a beautiful thing. I mean, I've shared them. I told you even before we got on the live, I was like, I feel like there's been and there is a huge awakening in a sense where it's like I've been saying this for so long, where there is like no middle, whether you go right or you go left, the richer or the poorer, and that has to do with spirituality too. I just feel like it's just a beautiful journey. Like I look at my timeline and I'm like, I'm at a point where it's like now I understand why this happened in 2005. Now I understand why this happened in 2019.
Mm-hmm.
Like it just all makes sense. And I do believe in divine timing, you know, and being able to actually talk about it. And I mean, it's an emotional thing for me too, because this is something that since day one that I remember a child, I've always been searching, like that spiritual, like true believer of God. Like nobody had to teach me to believe in God. Like I just knew like there's a bigger, you know, there's a creator,
Mm-hmm.
my Papa Dios, like he exists.
Yeah.
So that to me, it's been like as much as and I've shared with you, a lot of people don't know this. I mean, this is why we're here now, to express, you know, I've been gifted with a gift where I dream things, and the stuff that I dream, it's like they're warnings, not only for me, but for other people that I know or someone that I haven't maybe spoken to in a year. And I might speak to them because I had a dream with them. And when I speak to them, they're like, oh my God, I'm really going through that. Thank you so much. And knowing that, that's what really like fills my heart, you know? So,
Yeah.
yeah, it's just interesting. I've been, you already know this. I've been in the industry for what? Oh my God, 15 years?
Mm-hmm.
Years.
Been quite a
Before
run.
Instagram. Um,
Yep.
MySpace days, like auditioning with your portfolio, which still is done, but um, this is before social media, like,
Mm-hmm.
So there's been times where I just wanted to like throw the towel. I'm like, this is not what I want to do anymore. But when I do throw the towel, eventually like I get pulled right back in as a reminder, like there's a
Yeah.
reason why I have you there. And I'm like, okay, I'm not gonna fight it anymore. And the moment I stop fighting that, I feel like I am like, oh my God, I was really doing this to myself. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Because it's like you're on the right path. This is what you came here to do. This is part of what you came here
Mm-hmm.
to do. I just want to say that parts. But it's still a big part of you. And sometimes we doubt it. Like we know what we're passionate about. We know what we want to
Yeah.
do. And then sometimes we just get in our heads or something happens and then we get a little derailed.
Yeah.
But spirit is really good about putting you right back on track. Like, no, you
And
would have thought, but no.
and I will be the first to admit we can be stubborn. I will say to you, like I share this. A lot of people don't know I had surgery in January 14. It's a year now. Um, but prior to that, 2 years prior to that, I had sprained my ankle where I was in crutches and I was doing so much that I thought I was getting things accomplished and I was like winning, yay, yeah. But I wasn't taking care of
Mhm.
myself. And 2 years pass, and then next thing you know, sprain again. But this time, now it's like really bad where they're like, you need surgery. Your ankle is dangling. And I'm like, what? So now I'm
Ooh.
forced to be still. And what did I do with this time? I stacked up on books. I read, I journaled. I learned so much about myself, and I mean, I feel like we all are,
Mm-hmm.
if you put the work. And it's hard to be with yourself, because when you're still, you're forced to see you. It's like looking at yourself in a mirror.
Right.
And regardless, like, I'm so grateful, like, because if that would have not happened, like, maybe I wouldn't be here sitting here talking to you.
Right.
Yeah.
It's the same thing with the pandemic. Because there's a lot of people on the go. And for New Yorkers, I'm gonna start there. For us
Yeah.
New Yorkers, we are on the go. We don't know how to slow down. Even
Mm-hmm.
walking in the street, we want to
Mm-hmm.
get around. You know who's a tourist in New York and who isn't. You know.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
So imagine you're going that fast, you're doing that much. You're like, just like what you said, I'm winning. Yeah, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna keep going, and then you neglect yourself. And then they're like, nah, we got to slow you down a little bit. So,
I
boom.
say that it's true. It's just to add to that is I've learned that one thing that I keep saying within the year itself, even last year I was saying this. I was like, you have to take care of thyself first before you could even help anyone else. You know, I mean, an
Hmm.
example is if you're on a plane, you're not gonna put the oxygen mask on someone else. You're gonna put it on yourself in order for you to help others, right? It's the same
Correct.
thing. I believe that, it's just, working on yourself, but also you could, it's just a balance. That's what it really comes down to. It's just balance. And I never said it's easy. It's not easy. But you know what? Being aware of it, I think that that's important. And that's what really matters.
Yeah, that's self awareness.
Absolutely.
So, you needed some of that. It slowed you
Yeah.
down.
Like, Abby, wake up. What you
You're
doing?
like, have a seat.
Yeah,
Let's talk
it
about
was like
you for
I had
a
one
second.
foot, yeah, I literally had one foot in and one foot out. And I was trying, and also listening too much to, oh, this, you should do this, you should do that. And um, that also is like something that I feel like, you know what? I can't try to be anyone else. I can't try to compete with anybody else. I just gotta do what I could do. This is who
Hmm.
I am, and that's it. Acéptame or no? And that's okay with me. Like, so, but I feel like I'm in a good place right now. I feel very blessed. I'm grateful regardless of what's going on in the world right now. I
Hmm.
found myself even like me healing, right? So picture this, me on top of the bed. I have my foot up and I have a cast, and eventually the pandemic, all this happens. And I found myself just like speaking to a lot of women and men as well, different ages, is about spirituality, talking about
Hmm.
healing, talking about awakening, talking about dreams, talking about depression, which people feel like, it's like a taboo. You can't talk about it. You can't talk about mental health. You can't talk about spirituality. Like, no, each his own. Like, let's just talk about everything. Like, why not? This is what we're supposed to do. We're supposed to help each other out. Even by
Right.
saying a hi or hello or a thank you. Yes, I have my days that I don't want to talk to anybody. Like, or I want to punch a wall. I'm not
Right.
perfect. But knowing
No,
that I
no.
wake up and I'm so grateful for that, and I'm able to like just be me. Just be. That's it.
Yeah. And I think
Yeah.
it's important too what you're saying, because there's conversations that should be had. There are conversations that should be had. It shouldn't be that we shouldn't address them or we shouldn't speak about them. Um, so even that, like when you find yourself, and I'm definitely obviously in that, where I'm speaking to people all the time. I get DMs from people of
Yeah.
topics that I do, things that I bring up, things that spirit brings up. I'll get, DMs, and people will tell me what's going on in their lives. Like,
Mm-hmm.
and a lot of times too, it'll be about something that I spoke about
Yep.
and I can relate because this is what happened, or what you said here really helped me in this way. And I'm just like, there are people really listening to what I'm saying. Like, like,
Yeah.
it really, so to be able to like be fearless in that, I'm going to say that, and not worry about what society says or what anybody has to say, especially
Yeah.
when it comes to spirituality. So this is why I'm so honored that you're like,
Mm-hmm.
This is
you.
the first time I'm going to speak about this publicly. Really pat
Yeah.
yourself on the back for that, because yeah, 10 years ago it wasn't as welcomed as
Yeah.
it is now.
I mean, no, thank you. I appreciate that. And I feel honored as well that I'm able to sit here and actually share that and be heard. And um it was just, going to like the way I was when I was just my small circle of friends that knew about it. And I'm very particular of who I give my energy to, even now. It's not that I don't know. I'm just in a place that I don't have the right words to express to you what I'm feeling. Because I feel like God works in mysterious ways and there's no words for that. It's just like a
Right.
feel, like like I said, going back to like the timeline, the journey itself, the industry itself, what it comes with, what
Yeah.
it offers. Um, balancing that out and how to say no too as well. I feel like also my parents are a huge part of this. I was brought up a certain way where it's like, even with my grandmother, like I told you, I shared with you, my grandmother, I used to stay with her when I was like 5 and have like deep conversation, like I was a little old lady, you know? And it's just like I know and I'm aware and I can say that I've always been mature. And yes, I'm silly Sally. I like to joke around and stuff like that. But when it comes to that itself, like I really take that very seriously,
Right.
and I'm so grateful. I grew up in, since I was little, like always in the search, like, can I take me to church? It didn't matter what church it was. I just wanted to go to church because I was like, church is where God is at, when I was little. I want to praise him. And I grew up in church as well when I was a teenager. And I feel like that has helped me so much also in the industry because there's so many things that I could have said yes to that if I would have done it, to be honest with you, right now I would have been filled with regrets.
Wow. Yeah.
And I don't regret it because now I'm like, I'm good, and I'm excited about the future itself. I'm in the present. I tell a lot of people, like, let's just like let go. Okay, something happened to you in the past or whatever it was. Like, just learn to move forward. Live in the present. Especially now. We have to like really live in the present and appreciate
Yeah.
what we have. I'm so grateful that I'm able to put my rings on or put some makeup on or just talk to you and
Hmm.
everyone else who's listening too as well. So those little things to me matter more than you actually giving me a convertible or a Jaguar. I'm not saying that I won't take that, but I'm just saying like, you know, but those
Yeah.
things make me happy.
My question to you though is, you're speaking of like the industry. How old were you when you decided, oh, I want to give this a shot? Was it something that you felt you were called to do, to
Mhm.
explore, or maybe did you connect with someone who was like, hey, you should try this? You know what I mean?
So since very young, my uncle has tapes of me singing literally with a brush in my hand, singing, performing, showing, oh, I could do a split, or my acting. And I'm an artist in a way where as well, my background, my whole family, where they're artistic, they're great with their hands making things. And
Mhm.
for years, I remember like even before school, like I would watch the music videos, and this is me manifesting. Like I used to see the videos, like a couple of video vixens, and I was like, I want to be in a video. I'm gonna be in a video one day. And I used to walk around with like Walkman, like to school, and like I'm like, this is what I want to do. I want to be an actress. I want to sing. I want to perform. I love being on
Okay.
stage. I'm I'm very like shy around maybe others. I'm not the one to first speak, but when you put me on a stage, it's like, is that Sally? So that's my
Yeah.
place. Like I love it there and I love touching other people. So this is not something that was taught to me. This is something that I was just born with. I was made
Right.
this way.
Yeah. You just
Yeah.
had like a calling for it. Like you were like, this is what
Yep.
I want to do. This is what I'm
Yep.
supposed to do. So
Yeah.
let's go for
And
it.
I had my bad taste in the industry. I'm sure a lot of people, you know, they don't talk about it. And there's a lot of things in that world too as well that could break you. And yeah, I've been there. I've been rejected. I've said no. I remember at one point that my butt was too big to be on a video set. Like my butt was too big. Or
Yeah.
in a movie set, you know, or they're, oh, you don't look Latina. Or, you know, like I've heard everything. So I feel like all that has built me to be who I am today, just strong. So no matter what you say to me, I'm like, okay, that's how you feel. God bless you.
Did you ever take it personal in the beginning? Because I know a lot of artists, they go through that where they can face like
Uh,
rejection and they feel like, damn, you know, and it, you know, kind of
yeah,
gets to them.
yeah, it did. I mean, at one point, fast forward from, I mean, I really got it a lot from a lot of girls that were pursuing their modeling career as well. And because I started off as a performer, as a choreographer. I
Right.
got to be on the stage at first, you know, since I was very young. And after that, that led to modeling to, you know, acting and, you know, but I got like grimy people and like even within like women doing to other women. So that to me was like the part that really like it was not more about like, you know, I could go to an audition, they're like, oh well, your hair's too short and we don't like that green top you wearing. It was more about like being looked at or treated a certain way by other women. And that to me was like it hit me right here because I was like, women should not treat each other this way. This is not how it should be.
Yeah.
So
And it
that to
happens
me,
a lot.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then eventually, I mean, I did a lot of favors for a lot of big names. I won't name them. Music videos and this and that. And they would call me and I would stop my shoot to go help them out. And then it was always like, yes, 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 yes. And it got to a point where in the industry itself, like people that I know that, you know, there's bullying. Where it's
Right.
like, what? Like, you know, so I dealt with that and I fell into depression at one point. I got so skinny. Nobody knows this, but I got so skinny and I was just working, and I was so depressed. So
Right.
depressed. But you didn't know that because you could tell something was up, like, but you couldn't really put your finger on it. And I fell into depression really bad. Like nobody knew until I
So you hit
decided
it
to.
well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I've done it. I've done it. Not industry wise, personal wise. I can hide it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You put on your brave
Yeah. I
face
mean,
and everything's great. Mm.
mm-hmm. It is. It is. And you know, but we're still here. You know, I'm still
Yes,
in the
we are.
industry. Yes, we're still here and we're
Yeah.
still talking, we're breathing and just living. It really comes down just to like, you know, living. That's it. And I have so many things that I look forward to sharing with others. Yo tengo un pelito en la boca. Um, but yeah, there's a lot of things I want to share. There's a lot of things that I look forward, some things that I can't really talk about, but you know, it's gotta wait. But there's movies that, you know, before even my injury that I was on set, you know, I was on set for Marry Me, the movie. I was on set for West Side Story. I have music coming out, planning a music video for one of the songs. Um, and I'm
I'm
creative.
excited.
Yay!
I'm
And I'm
excited
also
for you.
excited because it's like a lot of people don't know that I really, this is even before Instagram. I'm a creator, right?
Mhm.
So I love art and I love visuals. My brain works that way. Like you could be telling me a story and I literally like a movie in my head. And I'm able to actually translate that and create that so that way you guys can see what's here. So that's also something that I've been, you know, working on and I'm doing a lot where I'm helping a lot of, you know, women as well, teach them how to pose, styling, um, creating sets and helping them, you know, to helping them just helping them. That's what I want to do and
Like behind
direct
the
it
scenes. Right.
behind the scenes and I've done a lot of behind the scenes, you know, I've and
Yeah.
yeah, yeah, pretty much.
So it's like working in front of the camera, working behind the camera,
Yes.
discovering who you are, healing people, helping people with your gift. There is a lot going on. Is there anything like really big, like an experience that you've had that you feel you manifested? Because I know I'm trying to manifest some shit this year.
We could talk about that later.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm saying? I'm sure everyone wants to, like, you know, I do believe in that manifesting, but I also feel that putting in the work too is important.
Yeah,
You know, one thing is to manifest is actually believing that's gonna happen. I feel like when you do, you have to really like believe and have faith. Faith moves mountains, you know. And my faith is strong in God, in you, in me, in us. I believe in us, you know, humanity itself. And I feel like when you want something and you put the work in, you could accomplish that. And if it's not meant to be, that should be okay, because maybe that's not for you. See, there's a problem, I
exactly.
believe, when you force something. It's like going through a door. When you trying to get into, like, let's say a room, and you're forcing it and you break the knob and you're forcing it, you're gonna injure yourself.
Right,
It's understanding not to force things. Let them be. And
right.
I've learned so much, being patient. There's also one thing, I mean, there's so many. I've done so many music videos that I got to a point where I'm like, no, I can't. No, that's it. I'm like, no, no, you know. But I'm just very particular of who I work with, and I'm so blessed that I
Hmm.
have that, you know, that option where I can be like, yes, no, you know. And I always say, like, if I'm not the one, there must be somebody else, and just, you know. But being on set, being on film, manifesting, that itself, manifesting, working with so many A-list artists and being in the same room with them,
Yeah,
you know?
that's amazing right there because it's like
Yeah.
certain people I want to do lives with, and when it happens, because it's gonna happen, it's like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? So I get that. It's like you're in the zone. Like this is something like, oh, I want to work with this person, and then it happens, and then you're like, wow.
Yeah.
And I really feel like moments like that really shows you, that universe really does have your back. And you're
Yeah.
speaking about manifesting, but it's up to us to plant those seeds. It's
Mm-hmm.
not just about, yeah, you visualize it, you feel it, it's going to happen. But, what is your part in this? Because it's like being in partnership with the
Yeah.
universe. Like, I'm asking for this,
Mm-hmm.
what's my part in it? Besides like just
Yeah.
thinking about it. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Putting in the work. And you just never know when is it gonna happen. Being patient. I feel
Yeah.
patience is important. Um, but yeah,
Patience is huge.
it's hard. I'm not gonna say and lie to you and be like, hey, so, like, it's so easy. It's not.
No.
But, yeah, there's so many stories. 15 years. Like, there's so many stories. I could go left, I could go right. I could, we could talk about, there's bad things that have happened.
Yeah.
I've seen
Which,
things
yeah.
spiritually. But I also seen, it could really break you. It just takes that right here, like, heart. It really does.
Yeah. My question is for you, because I know, you're speaking about people that you wanted to work with. Were you ever disappointed by someone that you wanted to work with and you work with them and then, they show you a whole different side, or, because sometimes we could put people up on this little pedestal
No pedestal. Yeah, absolutely.
and we're
Yeah.
thinking this is going to be great, and they
Yeah.
turn out to be the total opposite, and it's just
Yeah.
disappointing.
Yeah, I've been disappointed many times. There's people that I've actually worked with for many years,
Mm.
and they just decided that they want to just pick on you. And
Right.
it's like, wow, okay. you know. There's people that I've met that I wanted to work with, and then afterwards I'm like, but then if you think about it, you're manifesting because you want to work with them. That doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to connect with them. So I think that
Right.
there's a, you know, distinguish, you know, the both, that there's like a different thing there, you know. So it's like you manifest, you want to work with them, so that you're there working with them, but that doesn't necessarily mean that you manifested that you wanted to have a relationship with them, you know.
Right.
I worked with someone that honestly I wanted to work with, and I manifested that, and it was Kanye West. And
Oh, nice.
being on set with him, it was amazing. Like honestly, like I got to listen to the album before it dropped. I forgot what year it was. It was for the Monster video. And I got to work with Jake Nava, who's directed like Beyonce's videos, and he's amazing, super talented. And I remember being on set and just like, it was like there was a connection there, spiritual. And I was like, oh, you're dope, but you're even more dope now to me, like in my eyes, like in my point of view.
Mm-hmm.
So and it was amazing just working with Jake Nava, and I got called back the next day and they were like, we want you here. And I got to play 4 roles in the video. So I mean, it was one of the best experience I've had so far when it comes to a music video being on set.
Right.
And
Wow.
meeting someone. Yeah, so I had a great experience with him. I've had many experience, like, you know, bad. I mean, but that's just life itself, I just feel. You know, you're gonna have good experiences, you're gonna have bad experiences, and then, you know, expectations.
Yeah. How do you, what advice would you give though to people that are trying to, you know, follow in your like footsteps, let's say, like, you know, we have young artists trying
Yeah.
to, you know, make their way or be in the industry in some way. Like, is there anything that you could say that you learned?
Yeah.
And I know you've learned a lot, but
Yeah, and I'm
any
still
words for
learning. Yeah.
those? Yeah,
Yeah.
we're gonna learn all the way to the end. I say
Yep.
this all the time.
Absolutely.
But up
Yeah.
until this point, you know, if you met someone young who's trying to get into the industry or just starting out, you know, based on what you've already seen
Yeah.
and experienced, is there anything that you would say to them? I know
I
I'm
would
putting you on
say
the spot.
so many things. No, I love it because it's like my brain is like, oh my God, I want to
Yeah,
say so much. And I'm trying to like compress that into like one thing. And it's just,
yeah,
you know, believe in yourself. If you believe in yourself and you really want to do that, then go for it. Especially now, like where, you know, social media is, this is how we're connecting right now through social media, you know.
mm-hmm.
And it's a beautiful thing. Yes, it has their, you know, they say like their pros and cons, but there's a pro to here, you know, show your talent. It doesn't matter if nobody likes it, put it up, you know. Someone eventually is gonna see you, you know. Meet other people, be open, um, free from judgment. I feel like us women especially, we want to make everything so perfect. And
Yeah,
I feel like when we're like nitpicking, we end up not doing anything. And that was me. Like I just let like I would let like the fear stop me because I was seeing everyone else, and then I started comparing. Don't compare. This is who you are. You were created that way. Go for it. You know? And just believe in you. No one else is gonna believe in you to believe in yourself. It's like, you know, when you walk into a
mm-hmm.
room and they're like, ooh, that person got the it factor. You know what I'm saying? That person has something, but I don't know what it is. It's confidence. Yeah. I
Yeah.
mean, I could keep going and just but I'm
No, I
open.
love it.
Hit me up. Girls have, yo, there's been women and girls and guys that have hit me up and they're like, how do you do it? Or they've asked me, you know, similar questions. And I'm really that person. Like I would take time to
Yeah.
respond back. So if whoever wants to like send me a message and any advice, because everyone is different, I'm up to it. Like I'm here. Just know I'm here.
Oh, that's so sweet.
You know,
Nah,
we
but
gotta be
I know how
sweet.
you are. I know how you
Yeah.
walk.
Thank you, babes. Yeah. Oh
I
my
know how
God. Yeah, so far, I just want to say I'm so proud of you because you got this going on. And
thank you.
I'm so happy that, you're doing it. And you know how I feel. I've given you like I've left you voice notes. We've spoken on the
I
phone.
know.
I just know that I'm proud of you. You know what I'm saying? And that you're following your path. You're doing what you love.
This is what I love. I love talking to people. I love having these conversations.
Yeah.
I love to have my lives where I'm, speaking about certain things.
Yeah.
Because yes, psychic medium is my gift, but connecting is what I love to do. Like I love to have conversations, especially I love to hear people's stories. Like when they speak to me about their stories,
Yeah.
and their belief in like spirit. And even if they don't believe, I like to hear, their
I'm the
thoughts on
same way.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's just really like getting to this point, and it is divine timing. It's absolutely divine timing because who I am today, girl, I could not be, or I wasn't 10
Yeah.
years ago. Like, it's, we come a long
I
way.
I'm gonna add something to that. I believe that we always been who we are,
Mm.
but I also believe that society itself has mold us if we let us mold us to be a certain way. But we look back and it's like, you know. So I mean, yeah, we could go so many directions with this.
Yeah.
So I'm just blessed
I,
that we're able to speak upon this, and especially in these times, these troubling times, I try to see the good in everything. you know
yeah.
what I do feel a lot is a lot of confusion. If we're going based on feelings, I feel like a lot of people are confused, and we doubt. There's a lot of doubt. you know I do believe there's like a major shift. People that believe don't believe anymore, and people that didn't believe do believe now. So no judgment, but
Mm.
I feel like this is, I do believe that we keep repeating ourselves, divine timing. Like the time is now. And I want to
Right.
share more about this. I want to share it with the world.
Yeah.
And it's time. And it's like I can feel my grandma. Like I could feel my grandma like telling me like yeah, finally. So it's like it's like I tell you when I see your ancestors and things like
Yeah.
that. I'm like, oh, I was like, girl, you got women behind, you got queens that support you. You know what I'm saying? And we have to learn how to lift each other up more. I feel, especially now.
I have to agree with that. I have to agree with that. I feel that just going based on what you just said too, like how people are confused. I also feel that people are not living as they are, who they are,
Yeah.
based on fear, based on fears. Like they have fears to show this is who I am. Like this is considered brave, what you're doing. Like you're coming out like these are my beliefs. This is this is what I believe. This is what I think, and that's it.
Yeah.
Letting go of like who cares what anybody has to say. Me, when I learned about my gift, it took me a while to, what I like to say, out myself.
Yeah.
Like people will be like, oh, but you should do this. And I'm like, no, but there's so many skeptical people. Like, what are people going to think? What are my friends going to say? Like, and not my closest friends because my people know, but just society alone. Who's going to accept this, what I'm going to say? Even getting to this point to do lives was me standing in my way because I was like, what am I going to say? I'm going to speak. Who's going to listen to me? Who's going to want to hear, about spirituality? And it was a lot in my head. It took me a year to get to this point.
Yeah.
And I'm talking about when I started back in March of 2020. It's almost a year that I'm doing lives and consistently all
Yes.
the time, every week, a few
Consistency.
times a
You
week.
see that? You're
Yeah.
working.
I made
Yeah.
the commitment. I
Yep.
made the commitment. I committed to myself. So I'm sure you've been there where you're like, you know, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna go for this, and I'm gonna show up, and
It
I'm gonna
took
do it.
me to get hurt
Yeah,
physically,
yeah,
right? To understand that and say enough is enough. I'm making a choice and I have to do this because this is bigger than me, you
right.
know? And it's we're in the same like literally like you said 2020 and I'm like, yeah. I started feeling all of this too. It was like what 3 years ago.
Yeah,
And you know, we're here now. And I'll repeat it again. There is mental health is a, you know, depression. Um Social media has its pros and cons and it also has cons. I know people that it breaks my heart that women are always comparing each other, and I could only speak about women because I'm we're here, you know what I'm saying? Like we're nip and picking, and I started scrolling, I started seeing like people that I know itself, like each his own, this is no judgment, but I just feel like everyone looks the same now.
I
You
was
get
thinking the
me?
same thing
And it's
yesterday.
like there's nothing wrong if you want to follow a trend because you like something. I love fashion. I like to look good. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
It depends on my mood. I could wake up tomorrow and wear a tie and a button down and wear no makeup. Today I felt like, you know what? This is a couple of hours. I was like, you know what? I want to wear green. I want to do my hair like this. You know? It's just like I just feel like when you let it consume you, that's
Mhm.
where I feel that's the problem. Because now it's blurry. Now you just become, you know, robotic, you know? And I'm glad about all this stuff, like, you know, when women are talking about like women empowerment, like, you know, we're not shaming each other and we're like, oh, her butt's too big or she has no butt. Like, who cares? Like,
Yeah,
I believe that, and I've always said this, I used to say this a lot when I was on set. I was like, I believe, this is me, right? That we all have an expiration day. I'm not going to look like this 20 years from now,
yeah,
you know?
yeah,
So I've always like had that awareness even before I got into the industry.
right.
And that comes from my teachings as well. Like, you know, my parents taught me to carry myself a certain way. And I'm so blessed because going back, a lot of women don't have that and a lot of men don't have that either, you know?
Yeah,
And my advice is just, you know, take a break, put that phone down for a little bit, you know?
be
Um,
present.
be present. You want to put your post on? Great, do what you want but sometimes look, I put a post up and I used to struggle with this a lot. And I still have a little bit of it where it's like social media itself. It's hard for me to kind of like be every day on my phone on social media posting and posting and posting. I get it. It helps work, brings in money, but there's so much fakeness in it too as well, you know?
Yeah,
But like I said, I always try to focus on the good and not the negative, you know?
but people have to, and again, piggybacking, you know, off of that, the social media, like, and that's where it comes in because you could sit there and portray your life to be this extravagant life,
No.
and it's really not what's going on.
Yeah.
But and then that makes people insecure. That throws
Mm-hmm.
out the insecurity, and especially with women. And it's not to bash my women. I'm a woman, you know,
Yep.
but I hear it
Mm-hmm.
and I see it a lot, and it's
And
like,
we're supposed to be able to tell each other, like, we should be able to check on each other and be like,
right,
what are you doing?
yeah, yeah. And I don't want to sit here and judge either, but I always feel like for me, like if there's someone like that I know, you know, like a friend of a friend, let's say, and I see them on social media and they go from, you know, these nice little photos and now they're showing like everything. I always feel like, well, what's going on now?
Yeah.
You know, like they may be going through something, and now it's more, it could be more than just, as people say, like, well, they're just looking for attention. But
Yeah.
attention to what exactly? And
Mhm.
that's where it comes down to, like, you know, what is that person going through? It doesn't mean that they're going through something, but, you know, chances are they could be. They
Yes,
could be. And, you
absolutely.
know, sometimes it's to the extreme where it's like it's a cry for help, but who's noticing?
Yeah.
Who's taking the time, you
Yeah,
know, to tap into that, to really.
absolutely.
So social media, you bringing that up, like, too, like the mental health, the bullying that goes on, there's a lot. So there's positive and
Mhm.
there's negative.
That
And
whole
this,
bullying thing does exist. I would tell
yeah.
you, I had this is uh years ago on Facebook. I received literally a letter, like whole like letter. And I was like, wow, person literally telling me how ugly I am. I don't know who the person was. I knew it was a female. Female. Second of all, you took time out of your life
Mhm.
to put something down on paper and you click that
Mhm.
button to make sure that I got it and I read it. My thing is, like, should I be offended or should I be saddened by the fact that you had nothing else to do but to do that? Because you're going through something, you know? And it's like, I'm gonna pray for you. So it's like, you know, I've seen that. I've gotten death threats, by the way. There was a point
Wow.
where I got death threats. Like, if I see you, I'm gonna kill you. Or, and I'm like, what? Like, you know? So yeah. I've never said this before, but yeah.
Wow.
Yes.
But this is the part that people don't know about, or people don't
Hmm.
think about.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
And
saying?
the whole thing
So
about, yeah, about you showing your body, like, I love art. I love nudity. I love to be naked. I don't see nothing wrong with that. Um,
mhm.
but I refuse to bend over and forward and just show you my insides. Sorry to put it out there like that, but it's just that's just
Yeah,
not
yeah,
who
no.
I am. No judgment, but that's just not who I am. Um,
Yeah.
I've done, you know, spreads. I did Smooth Magazine. I remember a 7-page spread, and for years I passed it. I was in the top 100, and I was like, all right, that's cool, that's cool, that's cool. I was asked to reshoot. I said no. And I actually was asked by Playboy, and I said no. Um, because when you're put in that, people don't know when you're on set,
Mhm.
you're the environment, and you might just do something at that moment, and next thing you look at it, and you're like, oh my god, what did I do? You know. So I didn't want to be there. So I was just like, no, this is not for me. You know, each his own. You know,
Yeah, yeah. To
um,
each his own.
but it's not me. And yeah, I've seen a lot of things. I've seen friends of mine that I know, and this whole thing about photoshopping,
It's
like
real.
it's real. And I know people that have actually like told me, like, I was like, I don't, because I was there too. I was like, oh, let me, I have a little crease here. Let me Photoshop that. And now I'm like, no, like this is who I
Yeah.
am. You know what I'm saying? Like, take it as it is. You know, I got a little chicho here. Like, yeah, that's a chicho. You know, and we need more of that. We need more of it.
Yeah. More
People
authentic.
that are okay with it, they have more followers because they're changing their whole face. And I honestly, I don't want to see you in person. I get this a lot. People meet me in person. They're like, yo, you look just like your pictures. Like, yo, you. And I was like, that's what I want. I don't want somebody to be like, you know, I want to just keep it truthful. Like, I'm just real like that. I think that's the queens,
Yeah.
you know what I'm saying? The queens in me, you know what I'm saying? Yeah.
I remember I remember when I used to do talent management, and I used to work with actors and models, um, which is what led me to that set when I
Yeah.
met you, because they asked me for some of the girls for the thing.
Hmm.
And I remember going to Miami, And I'm like, I went to the restroom or something, and some guy went up to like my friend and was like, "Yo, is that Vain Talent?" Like
Mhm.
they knew. I guess I put up like one picture of myself somewhere, but I felt so weird by that, and all I could think of was like, "Yo, imagine being like really, really out there where everybody knows who you are,
Yeah.
and coming up to you randomly." Because right away I was like, my friend JoJo, she was the one that was like, "Oh, there's somebody out there looking for you," and I'm like, "Who?" And it was really like having a moment and experiencing what it would be, what that's like.
Yeah.
And I could sit here and be like, "Yo, there's people that do a lot for the following or whatever," but then there's
Yeah.
people who aren't. They're just being themselves,
Yeah.
and it can get to that point.
I'm here for that. I'm not
Yeah,
here for the followers. I'm not.
yeah,
Like, I'm investing. I'm building. I have a
yeah,
family. It's a lot of us.
yeah,
And I'm also married, you know.
yeah,
That's another thing too. People, oh, you're married and you're bringing your husband to set. And my husband is
yeah.
amazing. And he's been my backbone too as well. Like, oh, I know he's listening. I love you, babe. But yeah, like I was like side note and shit. But he's been there's a lot of things that maybe I wasn't aware because I was too excited. I get excited and I'm like, oh yeah, we're gonna do this, we're gonna do that. I start going, oh my God, arts and this. And he's like the one that's like, babe, did you notice this and that? And I'm like, huh? Oh yeah, I can't do that. Or, so he's yeah, and I'm blessed because a lot of people don't have that partnership. He saw
Yeah,
me from that time to where I'm at now. And yo, he's just amazing. Like I would have not have it another way. And it's like, the whole thing where people say like relationships are perfect. No relationship is perfect. Whoever says when you get married is like everything is dandy dandy, no, it's not. It's not. But you know what? A
work.
partnership. It's
Yeah,
communication, understanding, patience, because we keep evolving. We keep changing. I'm not the same person he met oh wow, he met me when I was like 21. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying? So y'all do y'all math. But we've been together for a really long time. I would say like, yeah, 15 years. So,
And he's very supportive.
yes.
And
Yes.
that's huge.
Yes.
That is huge.
Yes.
That is huge.
It is. He knows how much he sees it and he believes in me, which is a blessing too. And
It's a huge blessing when you have that in your life. Huge.
I believe in him too. He's um talented himself, and the fact that we're able to sit down and communicate and be on the same page, that itself is important. That to me is what matters. But he's been there. He's seen a lot of shit that I haven't seen through in the industry. He's been with me on set. And you know how they say, oh, you can't bring your boyfriend on set. No, you wouldn't even know we were together. I don't even know that time that you met him. He was on set. You wouldn't even know that we were together. Unless I told
Girl,
you or he told you. Because he's
I thought
just
he
like
was security. This guy is this big dude
6'4".
and you're this little thing next to him. So I'm like, oh, I guess she brought security. And
Yeah.
then you're like, when we started having our little conversation, and then you were like, yeah, that's my husband. I was like, wait, what?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, you wouldn't know unless you said it or he says it.
Yep. Yep. And
He was very let you do your thing.
yeah, helping me
just
out.
there.
What do you
Yeah.
need? He's very like also as well. Like if he sees that you need something, he'll be like, "Do you need something? Like I'll go get it. I don't have a problem." Like he's just that person. He's very genuine and very charismatic as well. Not because he's my boo and I'm bragging about him, but he really is the bomb. He really is a bomb. So even when it comes to this whole spirituality thing, he's like, you're gonna do this, like, oh, we had this talk about it, and he was like, because I could see him just protecting me as well. I know a lot of people around my circle that are like protect me in that sense, like Like,
And that's good.
yeah, which is a blessing. And it makes sense why, you know, why they conduct themselves that way or why they do what they would do, you know? Because
Yeah.
at the end of the day, we're not perfect. I F up too many times in making a decision. This is just we're here, like me and one of my closest friends, we always talk about that, like how the universe, we define as a university. So it's like we're here to learn, you know?
Yeah.
And we really are, you know?
Yeah, we are. Yeah,
Yeah.
we are. And some of us take a little longer to learn things
Yeah.
than others.
And
But
that's
we're all
okay.
here to learn something.
It's okay.
And the point is to finally get there, to
Mm,
arrive to that where you actually learned.
whatever
That
it
was my whole motto. That was
Mhm.
my motto last year. Like, I have arrived. I have arrived. It took me a couple of years, but here I am. You
Yeah.
know, there was things that I had to learn
Yeah.
to get, to get there. And even now I'm not the same person I was in 2020.
Yeah.
We're always evolving.
And we're not the same person we were yesterday. You know, that's how life is.
Yeah.
You know, you just, you can, just learn from your experiences as much as you can. And that's it. And if you're able to share them with others, even better, because you might just help that person with making a choice and not making the mistake you made. You know, that's what humanity
Yeah.
should be about. Should be helping each other out, you know?
Yeah, I agree with
Yeah.
that. I agree with that. I'm
Yeah.
so happy that you came on here today, girl.
I'm happy to. I'm so happy.
She was dancing when
Yeah, I'm
she
always
joined.
dancing though. This is me. Always. I'm always like, dancing and stuff like that.
Somebody threw a question up in here. Let's see what it says. Mamá, ve lo que dice ahí. ¿Qué dice ahí?
Vamos
How
a
do
ver
you
lo
deal
que
with
dice.
anxiety? How do
How
you
do
deal
you
with
deal with
anxiety?
anxiety? Especially now, right? Mm. First thing,
Meditate.
put your phone down.
Yeah.
Second thing, pray. Um, third thing. I'm like, third thing. Talk about it. And breathe. Just there's something about doing that is working, and it's working. And there's something about that. My friend, one of my closest friends, he always says whenever he hears my voice and I'm going super, 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 super fast, and he's like, Sally, breathe. Or I do that to him. So it's like a reminder, like to breathe, air, there's
Yeah.
something about that. I do recommend also as well, going for a nice hike. I mean, if you're in New York, it's too cold right now, but if you could go for just bundle up, if you could go for a nice little walk,
A walk.
yeah, you'll see things in a different aspect. And I recommend that a lot. I love, a lot of people don't know, I go hiking. I love it. I love being in nature. Like there's something about being there that I feel like it's just closer to God.
It's very grounding.
It is. And
It's
I
very
listen
grounding.
a lot. Yeah, I listen a lot to like if the wind is blowing or the birds or the leaf falling. Like I'm paying attention to all of that. And there's something about that is just like, it's like if I could express it to you, like a whole, you know. But overall, from everything, I feel like it's important to talk about it. And whoever that
Yeah,
was
I
that
feel it's
asked that question, we could even make a topic about anxiety. Anxiety comes in different forms, and maybe and especially now a lot of people have anxiety. I myself have, anxiety, right? But also I feel like the word is being thrown a lot around that you might not have anxiety, but then you start going down a list of the things and then you're like, oh, I have anxiety. So now you're self-diagnosing yourself. So it's
a lot of
like,
people self-diagnose. Yeah. They could
yeah,
just
we
be
have to be very
stressed.
careful too as well. It's stress, could
Yeah.
be depression. It could be so many things.
The
Yeah.
anxiety, I believe too, before I throw one more a question that came up there for you, I'm going to tell you what I feel with anxiety too is a lot of times that happens when we go against what we know, when we go against our intuition. So once you go against what you already know, you start feeling it, your body starts to react. Here comes the anxiety.
Yeah.
Here comes I feel like I can't breathe. Like, it could lead to panic attacks. There's so much that has to do with the breath, the intuition. So you really have to,
Yeah.
take that time, that moment to breathe.
Yeah.
So that you can, okay, let me relax. Where is this coming from? Why
Yeah.
am I feeling like this? And then, get aligned again.
Yeah.
So that you can get that clarity.
Yeah. If
That
there's no
happens a
health,
lot.
there's no wealth.
Yeah.
If you gotta breathe.
Yeah.
You learn to breathe.
You gotta take a few minutes, right?
Yeah.
Jojo PJ's asking, what do you do before an audition and how do you prep yourself?
Ooh. That's a good one. Yeah, that's a really good one. Oh my God. I do like different things. I remember like I would read like, oh, having a little bit of chocolate helps you. There's something that triggers like the brain and helps you. So I would do that. But I would definitely pray. And I would always say like, well, if it's meant to be, it's meant to be. But then I'm like, but I really want this. I really want this, But then I'm like, no, but wait, if it's meant to be, it's it's meant to be. I would literally just kind of like take time for myself before the audition, depending, like, because I could be coming from a gig, but it's also going back to just breathing, just being conscious and being in the moment, and having fun, just having fun with it, because even myself, I'd be like shaking. I'd be like, oh my God, I'm about to get on the stage. I'm about to do this, or I'm about to audition. I don't know. I'm so nervous. And then I forget everything. There's been times where I'm like blank. I forget everything I was going to say. And I planned it out, and it didn't work that way. And then next thing you know, I'm there. And then I'm like, there's like a switch. It's like, okay, this is what I came here for. This is what I'm supposed to do. I'm going to do this, improvise, do what I have to do. Like, So, yeah. I mean, there's so many ways, but I just learned that.
That's good advice.
Yeah. I hope so. Yeah.
And Jessica asked, would you ever do plastic surgery when you get older? How do you feel about it?
Oh. That's how I feel about it. If I would ever get plastic surgery, I don't know what's really considered like plastic surgery. Like if I would do like if I start popping some kids, like, and my boobs are like, and I need a lift, I'm gonna do that. But I do believe in working out. And this is the part. I believe in taking care of yourself. Yeah. Right? So understanding that your body is your body and you shouldn't be comparing it to someone else, because I want a big butt, I'm gonna go put implants. I know women that when I see them, I'm like, oh my God, you're so beautiful. You don't need that. I'm that person. Like, you don't need that. But they're like, no. And they have almost died. And I'm like, so I don't know, maybe in the future, I don't think I would do Botox. I don't think I would do like filling. I mean, I don't know. I'm in a place I can't answer, like give you like a really straight up answer and be like, no, I won't do it, because I might be that person in 10 years and I might be like, oh,
yeah,
what's this? So, but I don't think I would ever like change my nose. I don't think I would ever put lip fillers. I don't know. I just love the way I look. And I don't know.
Yeah.
I look forward to, like, not yet, but I'm just saying eventually being like that old little lady with the gray hair, and just because there's some women out there, they're like 70 and 80 years old. And let me tell you, they are fearless. So I want to be a little bit of a fearless one, you know what I'm saying? Fabulous. With my fan, my big sombrero, and just,
Girl, everybody that knows me knows that I can't with the white hair. I don't care if I'm 80. Dye my hair, please. That's the only thing I'm vain about is the white hair.
Damn.
That be it.
No, just the white hair?
I've never thought of I want to have bigger boobs or I want this but since I was young, like that's never been my thing. I've always said like, well, whatever God gave me, that's what I came with, that's what I'm leaving with. And I had some scars, along the way here.
Yeah.
From surgeries and childbirth and things like that. And it's
Yeah.
still
It's a
not
beautiful
enough for
thing.
me to be like, I want to do this. Like, it's like, it
Yeah.
is
Because
what
I
it
feel like
is. You
there's
still
other
got to experience.
alternatives. There's other alternatives.
Yeah.
I feel like women should give it a shot. Like work out. Like, yeah, it's gonna be hard,
Yeah.
but work out, you know what I started using? I'm gonna give y'all a little. I started using those waist trainers.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't use that before. And I started like wearing that, and I'm
Yeah.
like, oh wow, okay, it's hard, but I wear it at home, and I'm home, and I'm like, okay, this is so I'm like doing that, but I work out, like, and talking about like body and stuff, like I remember when I would go to school, I used to get teased. I used to wear baggy pants because I was so embarrassed of my butt. So embarrassed.
Really?
I have a big butt. Yes. In the dunk. And I used to be like, I remember coming out of school and I would wear like these really extra baggy clothes. Like, I think I started wearing like really like tight clothes when I got to like around like sophomore year, I think it was, that I was like, oh, let me show a little bit. But I was still like, I wasn't ready for that.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I remember that these two kids used to like see me and I used to hide from them. I used to like put the sweater around my waist and just walk super fast and be like, Sally the camel has one hump. Sally the camel has. And I walk,
Wow. That's
yeah, and I
nice.
was just like, "Ugh." But it's just like one of those things. Like, and now I see like everybody embraces it. And then I'm like, oh wow, okay, So yeah.
Yeah.
That's the butt story.
I think we're hard on ourselves regardless,
Yeah,
because how people
yeah.
can, they can be, oh, they feel they're heavy and they need to lose all this weight. Listen, I've been on both sides of the scale. I've been like crazy skinny in high school up until I got pregnant. I was like this rail. My brother would call me like olive oil all the time. I would cry,
Yeah.
like because I was too
Yeah.
skinny,
I've been called,
and
yeah.
even that, like I gained like, girl, I gained like 60 something
I'm sure
pounds, dude.
everybody gained some
Like,
type of weight or this quarantine
but
time.
crazy weight.
Yeah.
And even with that, like when people say like, oh, would you ever want to go to that weight you were before you had your daughter? My daughter's 27 now, but I'm always like, no. When I see those pictures, I'm like, that's too skinny for me.
Yeah.
Like, I don't want to be that thin, but that's who I was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
That was a point in
I'm at
your
a point.
life. That was a point in your
Yeah.
life that you were that way. Like,
Yeah.
I
That's it.
I remember that I mean, I weigh more now. I mean, we're talking about weight, being straight up with you. I weigh like 145 now, and I'm 5'5". And a lot of people have said a lot of things because they would always see me like I'm always like, it's not that I don't have no muscles, but I'm always like, I just like working out, especially I
And
used
that's
to
good.
run a lot like a gazelle. Like I would be like just running like Central Park. I would go different distance because I'm not the type to run on a treadmill. I just feel like a hamster. I need to be within nature or somewhere just running.
Yeah, it feels better outside.
Yes,
Yeah.
I would do kickboxing. I would work for 3 years. Every weekend I was performing at a nightclub and I was burning calories. So I was consistently eating. So that way I won't, and I went down to 100 pounds. So already my face is already, thin. So it's like, it's like, you're not, I'm like, yeah, I am eating. But then the whole, surgery and I gained some weight. I took a break. Then quarantine came around and I was like, oh my God, I'm gaining weight. What's going on? And the moment that I started, because I was like embracing it, I was like, oh my God, I'm a little thicky, But then, people started like saying things like, oh, I like Sally when she was like fit. Like, I like Sally when this and that. And I'm like, in my head, I'm like, I don't lay with you. Like, how much does it take for a human being to actually say that to another human being? Like, where's your intentions? Like,
Yeah.
you know? So it's like, I'm in a point in my life that I just embrace this. I'm embracing this. And I think that's adulthood too. Like, we're in a point, you relate to that as women, that we're just us. Like, we're just me. I'm just me. You, I'm me. That's
Yeah.
right.
And the right people are, are going to accept you for you. And
Absolutely.
they're going to love you for you.
And if they don't, that's
Including,
their loss. Bye.
yeah.
Bye,
Including
Felicia.
like, including like, any, fans or like admirers, any admirers that you may have will accept you for who you are. Like,
Yeah.
that's not, going to change that.
Mm-hmm.
That's not going to change them supporting you.
And vice versa. We should accept others the way they are as well.
Right. Right.
You know?
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that is their loss. Their loss.
But
Oh, I'm so happy that you came out here today, girl.
Girl, I took out this vino. I didn't even.
Is there anything you want to add or any last minute comments you want to make? For,
spread the love, guys. Learn to be nice. Say something nice to someone tonight, tomorrow, every day if you can.
Be kind. Mm-hmm.
Be kind. Hug your loved ones, whoever it is. It could also be your dog.
Mm-hmm.
Call someone. Forgive. Learn to forgive. And
Forgiveness.
just live. Just live.
Yeah.
Just live. And feel free. You guys, whoever wants to like send me a message, I'm open to. I've been, taking time to kind of like, reply back and share my love. I just want to share my love. That's what it is. I'm just a love. It's like my favorite word. I'm like, I'm love. Yeah.
I think too, when you come in contact with that, when you're open and you're living your truth, and especially with your spirituality, when you come to that and you recognize like it's all about love.
Yeah, it is.
Everything, it's all love. Like it's all love.
That's my favorite word.
Yeah, that's what makes you want to like share that.
Yeah.
And uplift people. And
that's
the whole vibe. That's how it should be. That's how it should be.
That's how we should.
And I want to say, I want to add really quickly too how, you can have people in your circle that don't root for you either. So when they're removed, allow that to take place. Don't try to hold on, people. Allow it to take
Let's go.
place.
Learn to let go. Let's go. Some people come into your life, then maybe they just come in for that moment and they leave, and that should be okay because there was a lesson to learn from that. And to simplify that. That's what I could say. I mean, I'm gonna switch it up a little bit. I'm gonna go promote now. I'm joking. No, my website is actually up, www.sallyferreira.world. So go check that
link.
Check that out. That link. It's on my bio.
Link is in your bio.
And I look forward to sharing with everybody what I've been working on. It's time. I'm excited.
It's time. I'm excited too. Let's see what happens, what she's bringing.
Yes. Yes. And we should do this again. I feel like, this is something that, we should just do it again.
I'm game, girl. I'm game.
Yep.
We could do another live. Sounds good to me.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for being my guest. Episode 3.
Ooh, 3, the number 3. You know how I feel about numbers. So
you on number 3, girl.
3 on the 30th.
On the 30th.
It's coming 3s, honey. That's another topic.
People don't realize how spiritual Sally is, but now y'all know.
Yeah. Yay! My cherry was popped. Thank you, love. I appreciate you.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you too. Con mucho amor.
Siempre.
all the best on everything, and we'll talk. Thank you
Definitely.
again, guys. Check out Sally on her website. The link is in her bio. My little promo at the end here is Soul Session number 4, February 20th. It's coming with singer Ellie Jazz. Yeah.
Ooh, tune in because I'm tuning in. Mm-hmm.
Tune in, girl, because she's amazing too.
I will.
You guys,
Definitely.
you know, your vibe attracts your tribe.
Yes, it does. Cheers to that, honey.
Cheers, boo. Trust that whatever decision you make is protected and will lead you to the growth you need in your life. Thank you, Soraya, my creative director, always coming.
Soraya, thank you so much for posting, promoting, and just believing in us.
Yeah. I want to say that to RX Superstar too.
Oh yeah. Oh, I love
He's
he
been
is the bomb.
amazing.
Shout out to him. I see a list of people here like Ugly Boy. I love him. Dominic,
Yeah.
he's amazing. I'm just seeing it now. All the people that
Yeah. Go ahead.
Which I love. I love it. I love it. I love it. Because I could be here forever. I got nothing else to do right now. I could be there here for like another hour if necessary. I got my crystals with me. You know what I'm saying?
God.
You know, I got my sage with me. I was like, no, relax, girl. You got to put some of this on. I got my water and lime. You know, that's how I prepared for this.
Well, you've been amazing, girl. We appreciate you, for real. Thank you again so much for
Dios te
showing
bendiga,
up.
and God bless everybody. Peace and love always.
All right, girl. I'll talk to you soon.
Definitely. Bye.
Bye.